Hi everyone, welcome to my 12 Days of Christmas Watercolour Trees Challenge. Today we are on to day 2 and we are going to do this monochrome and silver scene. So I have a piece of Saunders Waterford. It's about 7 by 5 inches, keeping these nice and small. I'm going to start with my round number 10 and I'm going to come across the sky area with some water. So we're going monochrome with a tiny hint of blue. I'm going to make a non-shooty grey and I'm going to show you some lifting out in this tree challenge. So nice even sheen of water. My non-shooty grey is going to combine ultramarine blue and a little bit of sepia. You could use burnt umber, you could use burnt sienna, but basically this makes a non-shooty, non-staining grey. So Payne's grey is very shooty and very staining, so I don't want to use that one. The beauty of mixing a grey as well means it splits out, so you get to see the lovely split out. So we're going to come on, I'm going to go left to right with this colour that we've just mixed. There's only a tiny bit of water in it, a couple of dabs from the brush, and then a bit of each of those have gone in to make the grey. And we're just going to keep the brush going, so it's going to get lighter as it comes down. See that? Doesn't have to be totally even. If you want it to be more even, you can let it just do its thing. One of the hardest things to do is a totally flat wash. This is a graded wash anyway. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of that grey, just create a nice edge to the snow. Just there. Rinse that brush out, and then what I've got here is a piece of tissue or kitchen towel and a 5p piece. Any coin will do the job. And we're going to lift out a lovely moon. I'm going to lift my moon out just here. So dabbing down, giving it a little bit of a twist. The coin doesn't actually move, it just helps get a nice moon effect there. Then I'm going to pick up my round number 6. I want a bit of the blue and a bit of the sepia, but very little water. So I want these to be nice and thick now. So that bit had water in, this is nice and thick. And then what I'm going to do is come on and create some fuzzy Christmas trees. You see that little flick that I'm doing? So you can have a few overlapping. Make sure you dip into the right one. You can leave a little space. The more you do this, the more practiced you'll become at getting these lovely tree shapes. I'm going to take this one a bit higher, so I don't want them all to be the same height. So we're going to have a nice big one here, so you can flick out from each side. If you worry about it exploding too much on the brush, then if you dab and dab a bit off, there's less on the brush to come out. And that's a really good tip to keeping a little bit more in control. But this is all wet in wet, so you want it to flow. I'll take this one a little bit higher here. So I've got a really nice effect happening there. Just gonna mix up a little bit more blue. So there's a little bit less sepia in there, it's a little bit more blue. So if I just show you here, see that it's got a bluey mix to it. So you can either go blue or you can go brown. And I'm going to come down to my rigger. So this is all still nice and wet because I am using a cotton paper, but even if it had dried, it wouldn't matter because I could come on and create these little extra bits. This is just giving us a little bit more just finesse and definition in places. Not definition as such because it's still wet in wet, but it's just giving it a little bit more on a few of the trees. I don't want you to do all of the trees like this. So I'm picking 3. If you do everything exactly the same, it all starts to look flat. So this is just giving this a little bit more detail in places, a hint of something else, a hint of interest. Okay, I'm going to dry that one off. Okay, so that's nicely dry. So we are going to come on to the snow, but we're not going to put too much onto the snow. And I have a little bit of silver powder, which if you haven't got, don't worry, you don't have to have it, but I'll link it in the description. It's one of my things that makes everything look a little bit more festive and Christmassy. So I'm coming back into that mix of grey. In fact, I'm going to dab my brush into water. I don't want this to be too strong. And I'm going to bring that underneath the trees. And then a little bit just in places. What you don't want is for it to end up looking, you want it to look like snow. It's very easy to go over the top and then think, oh, where's my snow gone? So don't go mad. Just taking a couple of bits of extra water on there because it was a bit dry in places. So this is my silver powder. I've got this in silver, I've got this in gold. It's called Aqua Bronze. And this is Diamante Silver, so it's a Sminky product. I've had it years and years, they still do it. In fact, it's gone a bit clumpy, but you can just sprinkle this on. And where it's wet, it will settle. Where it's dry, it will blow off. You can also use it with water. So I'm just going to play with it a little bit. It's a bit like having eyeshadow all over. Try and get it off my fingers. So if I take a little bit of water, the brush isn't clean, a little bit of water, I can move this around. So I can take it a little bit onto the tree. So you see, so it's just a pretty little flash of silver. I want some speckles. I don't want too much, and I can take a few little dabs just within the trees so they've got a bit of a frostiness. Okay, I'll dry that one off. Okay, so that's day 2 of our watercolour Christmas tree challenge done. If you can see here, look, that lovely sparkle. It's turned out really beautiful. Such a simple picture to create as well. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do like, subscribe and share. Hit the notification bell if you want to make sure that you're notified when the next one comes out. And I shall see you for day 3.